I found it by accident, if you can call it that. I was digging in the kitchen junk drawer for a roll of tape to wrap our son's school project, and the drawer stuck the way it always does, then yanked open all at once. Stuff flew. Rubber bands, pens with no caps, a handful of screws, a menu from a place that closed years ago, and a card tucked under a stack of paid bills, pretty and pink with a gold heart on the front. It looked new. I almost put it aside, but something about it felt wrong. We are not card people anymore. Not for each other, not for anyone. It's always text me and remind me. The last time my husband wrote me a card was our wedding day, so I flipped it open, and my whole body got cold. "Happy birthday, sunshine, see you soon," it said in his handwriting. Then at the bottom, neat and sure and familiar, "Forever yours," followed by his name. Forever yours. I stood there between a busted drawer and a drying rack full of sippy cups and spatulas with glue on my thumb and dog hair on my socks, and I read it again and again like the words might rearrange themselves into best wishes or all the best or some other safe nothing. But it didn't change. Forever yours. My heart went weird and heavy. My chest actually hurt. I heard my son from the other room call Mom, the tape, and I realized I was still holding the open card, staring at nothing. I closed it and stuck it back in the drawer, then handed my son the tape with a smile that felt like it could crack. He skipped off to make a paper volcano. The dog sighed on the floor. The dishwasher beeped and wanted to be unloaded. The house was still the same, full of life and noise and chores. But I was not the same. You need to understand, this is not a story about one card. It's about the fact that for the last few years I have been running this entire house like a one-woman show while he has been busy and tired and helping when he can. We both work, but somehow my job ends at work and is just lingers like fog, filling every room as an excuse. I send forms to school, I schedule dentist appointments, I banner day the pantry and pay the gas bill and remember his mom's medicine and his boss's wife's name. I fold towels the way he likes, I keep the fridge stocked with the yogurt he prefers, and I learned how to fix the stupid garbage disposal because "I'll get to it" always turned into "I forgot." I am not a saint. I'm a person who got used to doing two people's work, and I told myself love looks like picking up the slack. He told me love looks like trusting him and not nagging. He said I make him feel like a failure when I ask twice, so I stopped asking. I just did it myself. And then I found the card. After I put my son to bed that night, I went back to the drawer. I sat on the floor. I opened it again. The inside was smooth. The ink wasn't smeared. There was a faint smell like perfume, or maybe that was just the paper. It didn't say who it was for. No name, just sunshine and "see you soon" and "forever yours" his name. The card was pretty fancy, not something you grab from the discount bin on the way to a party. It had a little envelope that matched cream with a gold liner. I touched it and started shaking. Who was sunshine? Who gets "forever yours" from my husband when I get "can you grab milk"? He came home late. He said traffic was bad. He kissed the air near my cheek and went straight to the shower whistling. I stood in the hallway with my arms crossed and my heart in my hands. I didn't say anything, not yet. I didn't trust my voice. He came out hair damp, scrolling on his phone, not even looking up as he asked what was for dinner. I said pasta. He said great. He ate fast. He laughed at a video. He asked me if I'd seen the news. He said he was beat and went to bed early. I sat at the table and looked at the wall and clenched my jaw so tight my head hurt. In the morning, I put the card in my bag. I dropped the kid at school. I drove to work. I couldn't think. I couldn't eat. I typed the wrong passwords and mixed up meetings. I kept hearing his voice saying "forever yours" even though it was just ink on paper, and seeing his looped signature at the bottom of a message to someone else. He had never signed a card to me like that, not once since we said "I do." Not on my birthdays, not on our anniversaries. He writes "love ya" with a smiley face like we are roommates. When did I accept that? Why did I accept that? At lunch, I sat in my car. I pulled the card out and turned it over. On the back, stuck to the price sticker, there was a tiny bit of a gift receipt torn. Just the corner. Enough to see the store name. Not a grocery store, not a drugstore. A boutique I only know because a girl at work loves it. One of those places with candles and scarves and handmade soaps with funny names. I never shop there because we have bills and because I feel guilty buying things for myself even when they're cheap, because I have a list in my head every day of what everyone else needs. He never buys me anything from that store. I told myself a story. Maybe it's for his sister. Maybe it's for our niece. Maybe it's for a coworker from the team. Maybe he wrote "forever yours" as a joke. Maybe he meant to write "forever yours, friend." I heard myself and I hated that I was already trying to fix it to soothe it like a toddler's scraped knee. I texted him, "Hey, got any plans after work?" He wrote, "Might be late meeting." Why? I said, "Just asking." He sent back a thumbs up. My stomach dropped again. That night after I did homework with our child and fed the dog and answered an email for work I should have ignored, I went out to the garage. I sat in his car. I felt like a thief and also like I was about to find out I'm not crazy. In the back seat, wedged in the pocket behind the passenger seat, there was a gift bag. Cream with little gold dots, same as the card. Inside, tissue paper. Under the tissue, a scarf soft and light with tiny flowers on it. Not my style. There was a small envelope, same as the cards, empty. I checked the bag and there was the rest of the gift receipt, the name of the store, the date. My heart thudded. Why hide a gift bag in your car if it's for your sister? Why not tell your wife you're buying a gift and what time the party is and when you'll be home? I went back inside. My son was asleep on the couch cartoon, still playing. I carried him to bed. I sat on the edge of his bed and watched him breathe the way I do when life gets weird, like watching him will anchor me. I thought about the time last month when my husband slept on the couch because he had to prep early for a presentation. I thought about the time he said I was suspicious for no reason when I asked who M was in his text log. He laughed and said it was his boss. His boss's name is Mark. He said I need to relax. He said I get in my head. He said therapy might help me with my trust issues. I waited up for him. He came in later than late. He dropped his keys in the bowl and rubbed his neck like a tired office guy in a commercial. I said, "How was your meeting?" He said, "Long." I said, "Who's Sunshine?" He blinked. He laughed. He said, "What?" He reached past me for a glass and filled it with water. I took the card out of my bag and put it on the counter. He looked down at it, then up at me. Something flickered in his face fast, then was gone. He picked it up and flipped it open like he had never seen it. He said, "Where did you get this?" I said, "The kitchen drawer." He said, "Why are you going through my stuff?" I said, "Why are you writing forever yours in a birthday card to someone who isn't me?" He smiled like I was being cute. That smile made my skin crawl. He said, "It's for my cousin." I said, "Which cousin likes pink with gold hearts and is sunshine, and do you sign forever yours to family now?" He rolled his eyes. He said, "You're ridiculous." Reached for the card. I didn't let go. I said, "Who is it for?" He said, "It's a joke, okay? We have this thing in the office where we sign things in silly ways. I forgot to give it to Mark to take to his girlfriend." He said Mark again like the name could save him. I held the card. I looked at his face. He looked past me like I was a radio that got too loud. He said, "Can we not do this right now? I'm exhausted." I said, "I found the gift bag in your..." He froze. He blinked again. He said, "I was going to ask your opinion for my sister." He added, "Why are you snooping? You know how that makes me feel." He ran his hand through his hair and did the sigh he does, the one that means he is annoyed and I am causing a scene. He said, "You've been on me for months. It's like nothing I do is enough. And now you're making up stories because you're bored." I looked at this man I have loved since he was a boy with messy hair in a college dorm. I looked at him and I saw a stranger wearing my husband's face. I thought of my to-do list taped to the fridge and his list which is blank. I thought of the way he tells me I'm too much when I cry, but he expects me to be more when he is hungry. I thought of how I used to read every text over his shoulder when we were young and stupid and we promised we would not be those people. I thought of how he has been turning his phone face down on the table, how he smiles at something and doesn't share it with me. I said very calm, "Who is she?" He laughed again, but it was thin now. He said, "Nobody." He said, "You're being paranoid." He said, "You know your dad's cheating messed you up. You never deal with it. You project it on me." He put his glass in the sink and didn't rinse it. He said, "Get some sleep." He went to our bedroom and closed the door. I sat at the table until the room went gray with morning. Then I called in sick and made a list. Call the store, check his Venmo, look at the shared credit card, reach out to that coworker whose name I always forget but he mentions at least once a day. It felt gross. It felt like going through his pockets before you do laundry, but for trust, not coins. But you know what felt worse? That card. That voice in my head that said again and again, "You are crazy, you are dramatic, you are overreacting." That voice sounded like him. I decided I wanted my own voice back. I called the store. I said I had a gift receipt, but I needed the full receipt to make a return. The girl on the phone told me they can't look it up without the last 4 numbers of the card. I hung up. I checked the shared card. There it was, the charge same day as the torn receipt. That night he told me he was stuck at work because the copier was broken and they were prepping a big pitch. The charge was at 6. The store closes at 6, so he wasn't at the office. He was buying a scarf. I looked at his Venmo. I never do that. He's always joking about how we should be on the same page, but also he keeps his own money stuff very, very private because boundaries. There it was, a payment to a woman named Maya with a cake emoji and a heart. Another one a week later with a coffee cup. He had also sent a request back to her, 3 little hearts and a pizza slice. It made me dizzy the way something so small proves something so big. I clicked on her profile. It was public. I saw her picture, pretty young. I swallowed. She had pictures of her dog and a photo of a birthday cupcake and a sign that said, "We rise by lifting others," and I wanted to throw my phone against the wall. Her calendar photo said birthday month with confetti. Her comments were like a map I didn't want but now had to follow. A guy from his office commented, "Birthday queen," under her post. My husband liked it. He had never once liked a picture of me where I looked nice. He always says he doesn't do social media. I found her Instagram set to public because of course it is. There was a photo of a scarf draped over a chair on a porch, flowers blurring in the background. Same scarf. "Spoiled," she wrote with a wink face, a comment. "He has good taste," with a laughing emoji. She replied with a heart and a little lock emoji. I felt my hands go numb. I sat there holding my phone like it was a snake. I typed her a message. Then I deleted it. Then I typed it again. Hi, I wrote, I think you might know my husband. His name is. I hit send before I could talk myself out of it. It took an hour, but she wrote back. She said, sorry, who is this? I said, his wife. There was a long pause. She said, oh. Then she said I had no idea he was married. He told me you were separated. I laughed then. I laughed like someone told me a joke at a funeral. It was ugly. I messaged, we are not separated. We live together, we have a child. She wrote, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. He said you were friends co-parenting on a break. He said you slept in separate rooms. He said you asked him for space. I said we sleep in the same bed, his snoring is proof, and the only space I ask for is a bathroom with a lock. She sent a picture of the card, the same words, the same, forever yours. She said he told me I was his person. He said he had never felt this way. He said I was sunshine. I asked her to tell me everything. She did. She said it started as late coffee after a project. He said he never connected with anyone like this before. They talked for hours. He told her marriage is hard. She believed him. She had her own heartbreaks. She wanted to be somebody's number one, and he made her feel like she was. She said they kissed. She said they didn't sleep together because she was trying to do it right since he was in transition. She realized how that sounded and wrote, I know, I'm sorry, many times. She said she ended it when she found out he had sent money to our joint account with the note groceries, but then posted a picture with our kid at the park. She realized he lived here. She confronted him. He told her I was clingy and would not let him go, but that he loved her and he was making a plan. He said he needed time. I stared at those messages until the words blurred. I thanked her. I did not scream at her even though I wanted to throw my phone at the sun. I believed her because all her pieces fit the parts of my life I ignored. The late nights, the face-down phone, the new shirts, the extra trips to the store. The way he had suddenly become very kind when I said I was tired. He said, don't worry, take a nap, I'll pick up the slack. He picked up the slack because he needed me to sleep so he could write sunshine cards. I printed everything. I took screenshots. I gathered the scarf, the card, the receipt, my own anger. I put it in a folder because I know how he gets when he is caught. He turns it around. He says, you're crazy, so fast it sounds like hello. I put the folder in the closet high up behind the winter boots because I know he also sometimes looks for passwords in my bag. Maybe that is crazy, I don't care. That night I cooked dinner. He came home cheerful. He hugged our kid. He said, guess who got ice cream at lunch, like he had a secret. Our kid squealed. He washed his hands and I watched him rub his wedding ring with the back of his thumb. He has this habit when he is nervous. I have always loved that ring on his hand. It looked like safety. Now it looked like a prop. After the dishes, I said, sit. I set the folder on the table. I put the scarf on top slow. He blinked. He looked at our kid. Buddy, go play in your room for a bit, I said, too sweet. He went. I taped a paper towel to the door so he couldn't see because I didn't want his little eyes on this one. I slid the card across the table. He didn't pick it up. I opened the folder. I put the receipts down. I put the screenshots down. I put the messages down with his words like knives. You are my sunshine. I am forever yours. I could not stop my hands from shaking. My voice surprised me. It was calm. It was the calm of a person who knows the answer on a test and just wants to go home. He tried to laugh. He said, wow. He said, you went full detective. He said, do you know how invasive this is? He gestured at the pile like it was trash I'd tracked in. He said, we could have talked. I said, I asked you 3 times. You lied 3 times. He said, I didn't lie. I withheld to protect you. I said, to protect me from what, the truth? He said, I made a mistake. He said the word mistake like he spilled juice. He said, it was nothing. I was lonely. You haven't wanted to be close in months. You are always tired. He leaned back and spread his hands. I'm a man. I have needs. I laughed again, but this time it was not ugly. It was bright and sharp. I said needs, like sunshine, like scarves. Like writing forever yours to a woman whose birthday you know when you didn't even remember mine until our kid reminded you and we ate a grocery store cake on a Tuesday. He flinched at that. I saw it. I pressed on because I am tired of being the soft place to land for someone who stomps all over me. I said, you gaslit me. You told me I'm crazy. You told someone I loved did not exist because I had not yet found their things in your car. He rubbed his face. He said, gaslit, very dramatic. He said, the internet has gotten to you. He said, everyone has secrets. He said, nobody is perfect. I said, I am not perfect, but I do not sign forever yours to anyone but you, and even that it seems is not what you want, so here is what is going to happen. I took a deep breath. I thought of my list. I thought of our son's face. I thought of me 5 years from now, whether she is another one or not. You are going to sleep in the guest room. You are going to call a therapist on your own. You are going to call your mother and tell her why. You are going to call Maya and tell her the truth. He started to speak. I put my hand up. I am going to call a lawyer and learn my options. I am going to get an STD test because my body is mine. I am going to go to bed in our bed because I am not the one who turned it into a lie. He got loud then. He said, you're blowing this up. You love drama. He said, you always want to be right. I said, I want to be safe. He said, what about our kid? His voice broke there and I saw the boy I married for a second, the one who cried at our son's birth. I felt my own eyes burn. He said, we can fix this. He reached for my hand. I pulled it back. My hand shook. He looked like I hit him. He said, please. He said, don't do this. He said, I'm sorry, so fast and so soft, and I felt that familiar pull the part of me that has always put a blanket on his shoulders when he was cold and eaten the burnt toast so he could have the good piece. That part stood up and said, we can take care of him. But a louder part, a part that has been whispering for years, said, who takes care of you? He slept in the guest room. He slammed the door. He cried. I cried alone in the bed that smelled like us. I put my face in the pillow and shouted into it. Then I wiped my face and made lunches for the morning because life does not stop when your heart does. The next day he texted me from downstairs like a teenager. He said we should talk. I said make an appointment with a therapist and send me the time. He sent me a screenshot of a Thursday afternoon booking. I said good. He said I told Meyer it's over and that I am sorry. I said good. He said she says she is going to tell HR. She says I am a creep. I said maybe you are. Decide if you want to be better. He said nothing. He did not say I am forever yours to me. He did not say anything that felt like the man I loved. He put his head in his hands at the table and said, this is your fault for snooping, and I wrote that sentence down in a notebook so I could look at it later and remember that this is what he chose to say. I told my sister. She said, you knew? She has always been kinder to me than I am to myself. She said, I'm proud of you. I told his mother because he did not. She said, men do dumb things and don't throw away your family, and when your father-in-law, well, we don't need to get into that. I said, I am not throwing away anything. He dropped it. She sniffed and said, you've gotten mean. I said, I have gotten awake. I made a list again. I put things on it like water plants and call lawyer. I did both. The lawyer was kind. She said, you do not have to decide today. I said, I know. I took our son to the park. We ate popsicles on the bench. He told me a joke from a cartoon and I laughed for real. My phone buzzed. It was Maya. She said, I'm sorry again. I blocked him. I feel stupid. I wrote, I'm sorry too. I hope you find someone who gives you everything without taking it from someone else. She wrote, you too. It felt like looking at a stranger in a mirror and nodding. That night he made dinner. He set a plate in front of me like a peace offering. He said, we can go to counseling. I can quit my job. He said, I will delete Venmo. I almost laughed. I said, delete the part of you that's signed forever yours, then we can talk. He looked at me and I could see the wheels in his head turn. He wanted me to tell him what to say. I did not. He said, I am sorry again, but now it sounded like a new word in his mouth like he did not know what it meant. I ate my pasta. It tasted like nothing. It has been a week. He is still in the guest room. He goes to work and comes home and tries to vacuum and looks at me like a puppy who chewed the couch. I am not cruel to him. I am not sweet to him either. I am gray rock for now. I go to work. I pick up our child. I cook. I sleep. I feel my brain slowly come back from wherever it fled to when I read Forever Yours. I am tired, but it is a clean tired. I am not carrying his story on my back anymore. He is carrying it now. It looks heavy. People will say, why not leave right away? People will say, once a cheater, always a cheater. People will say, give him a chance. People will say a lot of things. I am going to do what is safe for me and our child. If that is a divorce, fine. If that is a brutal year of therapy and digging up all the rot and planting something new, maybe. I don't owe strangers a happy ending. I owe myself one that is honest. I am writing this because I want to put it somewhere outside my body. I want to stop rehearsing it in the shower and in the car and at the sink. I want someone to hear me say, I knew. I knew something was wrong. He told me I was crazy. He said therapy. He said boundaries. He said my childhood. He said I was tired. He signed a card, Forever Yours, to a woman he called Sunshine, and he hid it in our kitchen drawer like a twisted joke. And for once I did not smooth it over. I did not make it easy. I did not be the good wife who swallows her own throat so the man across the table can breathe. If you are reading this and your stomach is dropping because something in your house is just a little off, I am not telling you to light a match and run. But do not let someone tell you that your eyes do not see what is in front of you. Do not let someone make you doubt your own mind. You are not crazy. You are paying attention. You are doing two people's work. You are juggling bills and school papers and dog baths and dinner, and you still feel the draft because there is a window open somewhere and he is saying, what draft? It was a card this time. It was Forever Yours. It was a scarf. It was a Venmo with a cake emoji. It will always be something. It will always be a thing that has weight if you pick it up. My hands are strong because I carry everything. I can carry this too. I can carry it out of my house if I have to. When I close my eyes at night, I still see the words on that card. But now when I open them, I see my son's face. I see my own reflection in the microwave door. I look tired. I also look like someone who did not accept a lie just because it was wrapped in a pretty card and signed with familiar ink. Forever Yours is nothing if the person holding the pen will hand it out like candy to anyone who smiles at them. Forever Yours is something when it is a promise made in work and practice and showing up and doing the boring stuff and not using someone else's bones to build your own excitement. I have been forever his for years in the way that matters. He chose to be temporarily someone else's into a card. I am done trying to make those things equal, so that's it. That's the story. I found a birthday card from my husband to another woman, signed with Forever Yours. He tried to make me think I was the problem, and for once I did not let him. I set my own table. I set my own rules. I will decide what forever means for me. And there is no exclamation point after that, just a period and a full night's sleep where I do not dream of drawers and pink cards, but of blue sky and quiet and a little boy who thinks I hung the moon because I make his lunch with the crusts cut off, and I show up every day no matter what. That is forever, that is mine.